Hi, this is Mark McVeigh. This is attempt number two because apparently my first video didn't have any sound. I apologize for that. But I'm here to talk about the three articles that I looked up. Were all very helpful to my research. The first one was by um, Merle Wells, and it's just entitled "The Western Federation of Miners." It's just kind of an overview of their influence and what they did throughout the West, especially focused on North Idaho. But one thing that I thought was very interesting is, first of all, it was a very leftist leaning union as opposed to the other unions that were active in the Silver Valley. But the second thing that I thought was very interesting is that that one of their main concerns was the implementation of new technology and how they were concerned about it and didn't really promote it because they thought it was going to hurt their wages. The second thing that I thought was interesting is they definitely were involved in some terrorist activities in Burnt Canyon, for instance. They were affiliated with the bombing of the governor's house down in the Boise area. And kind of as time went on, they became more socialist and more identified with the IWW as that became kind of a prominent union. So I thought that was very interesting. The second article that I read was called From State House to Bullpen, Idaho Populism and the Coeur d'Alene Troubles of the 1890s by William Gabori. That was also a really interesting article. I had not really read too much about the tie-ins between the Populist Party and the labor union movements in North Idaho. Prior to that, I had really thought that they were more socialist, but they were definitely populist as well. And one thing that was interesting about the Populist Party is that it was very concerned about the railroads, as were the mine owners. They just took different paths. The mine owners sought to kind of maybe suppress wages or keep things down to offset how they were getting charged by the railroads, while the Populist Party, their solution was to nationalize the railroads, which I thought was interesting. Anyway, they also talked about how as the Populist Party waned in North Idaho, or as the Union movement did, so did the Populist Party. So they were definitely intertwined, and that's something I was not aware of. An excellent article. I will definitely use that in my research. The last one was by R.M. Lambeth. He wrote about an article called Scabbing the Palouse, Agricultural Replacement, and in a union busting in southeast Washington from 1917 to 1919. That was also a very good article. That's the Palouse is just probably about 80 to 100 miles away from the Coeur d'Alene mining area. But they're very closely associated. But it talked about how the Agricultural Workers Industrial Union was also affiliated with the IWW, just like the Western Federation of Miners was. Um, this group actually, whereas the AFL, American Federation of Labor, agreed not to strike during World War I as a matter of national security, this union did not and was planning on striking. So as a counter to that, students at Washington State, um, housewives, children, all kind of took to the fields and went to work to prevent this union from a strike from having any effect, which I thought was very interesting. It was definitely not a popular union outside of agricultural workers at the time, and I think that what's very interesting about that is how it was basically it was basically portrayed as a socialist or communist group. Even during 1917 to 1919, there was kind of a little red scare going on because of the Russian Revolution, I believe. But also just a really very interesting article on how that all plays in, and how really it wasn't necessarily a popular movement, and really kind of sometimes the majority of people were anti-union as opposed to pro-union. So I think that was very interesting to find out, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.